So I was told never to assume anyone's gender or pronouns. But Wookiepedia, the Star Wars database, I mean it's just a fan wiki, has taken it upon itself now to add characters' pronouns. Yeah, I know. We are at Peak Clown World, which if you didn't know, ladies and gents, I sell Clown World t-shirts, linked down below in the description box, as well as underneath every single video. You can see them. But just as an FYI for merch, I will be bringing that in-house at one point soon to bring the cost down because, yeah, like Teespring just ramps up those costs. They're insane. So, yeah, soz. But if you want to buy one, please do. Helps the channel out. Yeah, this is utterly Clown World, and Wookiepedia has now gone on some bizarre mentalist blocking spree on Twitter. Now, this first popped up in my feed because obviously I have a bunch of friends of the channel. I mean, Echo Base Network, for instance. We have Nick, who appears on the HCast live stream, and he interacted with them, and I was like, what is going on here? And obviously he was blocked subsequently. And this is the tweet in question that made everyone go, what? You may have noticed the new field popping up in our info boxes lately. We're now listing characters' pronouns. It is always important to keep in mind that pronouns do not necessarily reflect gender, and by doing this, we will be more accurate and respectful. Respectful to a fucking fictional character. For goodness sake. As you can see, Cody, Camino, human, he, him. Did you ask him? No, of course you didn't. And then they just started tagging, obviously, Star Wars official and things like that. And everyone clapped like a bunch of clapping seals. Now, it's absolute nonsense. It really is. So Echo Base Network here, like I said, said, so funny. It is you who is the bigot. You are unreasonably opposed to people who do not support this pronoun movement. Ironic, isn't it? And look, at the end of the day, this is utter nonsense. You know, you don't need to bring this ideology, this way of thinking into every aspect of your life. It's tiresome. It's boring. And most of all, it's entirely redundant to Star Wars. But then we have things like this, how do you know what every individual Star Wars character's preferred pronouns are? Did every single one of them explicitly state them in canon? No. You couldn't possibly have asked fictional characters, so we can rule that out too. How exactly is this at all accurate? And this is the crux of it, right? You're bringing an ideology into a fictional setting where it doesn't actually conform in terms of how you deem it to be respectful, or how these individuals deem it to be respectful. It doesn't conform into that fictional reality. You couldn't possibly ask them all, so it doesn't make any sense. Hey Wookiepedia, I've been a long-time fan of your website, and of course, Star Wars from Germany. I appreciate your decision, as it will make so many of your users feel more included and represented. Are there characters that use they-them pronouns? And there is the crux of the matter, ladies and gents. It will make people feel more included and represented in a fictional Star Wars universe where this isn't part of their ideology. They don't use this. This is not part of Star Wars canon. Not part of their life. It's not what they do. I'm sure, in fact, there are alien races within Star Wars that don't use any of these forms of pronouns because their genders or sexes, should I say, are way off kilter. Way off base. There's probably she-he's all over the place in the Star Wars universe, I'm sure. Asexual beings that literally procreate via themselves. I'm pretty sure they exist. And then Nick, I know absolutely, unequivocally, this is going to be Nick. Keep this trash out of Star Wars, you idiots. And this is the thing. It is literally here just to keep people happy. To keep the fan base happy. Which just doesn't make any sense. It's entirely redundant. How much respect should we give Emperor Palpatine? How much respect do people who don't exist deserve? Is it moral to disrespect an evil character? Oh dear. And obviously they went on the attack. Wookiepedia, as always, of course they did. Wook official. Now, just as an FYI, because I keep getting misconstrued or misunderstood when it comes to my thoughts on these kind of things. I always think, right, that it is important to respect people who are respectable, respectful, and respect you. If you don't do any of those things, or you don't fit into any of those things, then you don't get my respect as a common, decent human being. You just don't. You have ruled that out. So, along my travels or, in my quite wide-ranging life and where I've worked across the world, have I met trans people? Yes. And have I stated them to be what they are or what they claim to be? Yes, absolutely. Why? Because they were just lovely, normal people. And that's where I personally draw the line on those kind of things. Outside of being a respectable, respectful, and someone who respects me, person, you don't get that common decency back from me. If you're not hurting anyone, you're not doing anything, absolutely fine. This element here is entirely redundant. It is literally only here to make people feel happy about themselves. It's irrelevant. If you get your self-worth from Wookiepedia, you have massive issues. Massive mental issues. It's very strange. And again, obviously a bunch of people were like, look, this is nonsense, Wookiepedia. And Wookiepedia tweeted this out. Harassing others is not okay. Many people have taken it upon themselves to target and attack Wookiepedia editors over the addition of pronouns to character info boxes. And we condemn those who choose to attack others. Star Wars is for everyone. Harassers will be blocked. No one is saying it isn't for everyone. Literally no one. No one's saying you can't enjoy it. I think the main issue that people have here is that you are trying to force this ideology into the Star Wars box, the Star Wars universe, when they're just two opposing things. They don't work. They don't mesh together in this fashion. It's not the same. You can't do that. It's like when you look back on medieval England, for instance, and you judge them by modern day standards. Yeah, obviously it's different. Times are different. This is a fictional universe. You can't judge it by this current standard. It doesn't make sense. It's not the same world. It's long ago in a galaxy far, far away. Very strange. Very, very strange. And then obviously people were circle jerking these individuals and says, hey y'all, I work at Respawn managing our narrative archives, and I just want y'all to know how much respect we have for y'all and your work. Why didn't you say y'all again? A shining example of how fan wikis and fan knowledge management work can complement and enhance the work of those of us within these industries. So again, it all comes back down to you. This is not about what you're a fan of. It's actually about the fandom, which is awfully pathetic. Awfully pathetic. As an avid Alien and Predator fan, I don't sit around wanting Alien and Predator to represent me. I mean, obviously it does, because, I'm buff just like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's a joke. Obviously I'm not. But it's not about me when I'm a fan of something. It's about what I'm a fan of. And why? Well, because I'm a fan of it. So I often question what these people are actually fans of at this point, when you have to mould and mesh the supposed element of your fandom to fit your narrative. It's very strange. Very, very strange. I stand with Wookiepedia and Wookmin. Y'all are on the right side of history, and we love you for it. Bizarre. Very, very bizarre. At the end of the day, people can disagree with this, but Wookiepedia have called all these people harassers and bigots. There's nothing bigoted about sitting there and going, look, this is about you, isn't it? This actually isn't about Star Wars. Yes, Yes. But at that point, you're a bigot if you point that out. Very, very sad. Very pathetic. And this is what this is what loses people. Because people are just like, we aren't the same. You are not actually a fan of what I'm a fan of. This is about you as a person. And that's quite pathetic. Quite pathetic. You can be a fan of something and have that common ground where we all come together and go, love Luke Skywalker, what a cool dude. You don't need someone sitting there bringing ideology into it going, yeah, but was he a dude? Did you just assume his gender? Like all this nonsense. It's not part of it. It's not relevant. It's just to appease you. Which, at the end of the day, I seriously question whether you're actually a fan at that point.